Hello and a very good afternoon. You're watching the MAMI TV English News Bulletin. I'm ALBINA RIAMEI. A report by Ministry of Home Affairs has said insurgency problems in 8 states of northeastern region of India have been reduced to 70%, while civilian deaths has been reduced to 99%. According to the annual report of Ministry of Home Affairs, the security situation in the northeastern states has improved substantially since 2014. The year 2020 recorded the lowest insurgency incidents and casualties among the civilians and security forces during the last 2 decades. There has been an 80% reduction in militancy incidents in 2020 as compared to 2014. Similarly, there has been a reduction of 75% in the casualties of security forces and 99% in the casualties of civilians during this period. The report also said that the year 2020 witnessed a decline of about 27% in insurgency incidents. There were 223 incidents reported in 2019 and 162 in 2020. Compared to 2019, which saw 25 casualties of civilians and security forces personnel, the year 2020 witnessed just 7 casualties, 2020 reports added. Some individual politicians and not parties in the ruling coalition have demanded a revisiting of the pact signed between the state and Assam to resolve the border dispute, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma has said. Sangma also said that Meghalaya government is ready to explain all the aspects of the agreement to those who are raising objections to it. He also said that the parties have not given him anything in writing or discuss any matter that they don't agree with the MOU. Mention may be made that Assam and Meghalaya had on March 29 signed an MOU to end their border dispute in 6 of the 12 contested locations along the 884.9-kilometer border between the 2 northeastern neighbors. Sangma added that the MOU was signed in presence of 2 ministers from the United Democratic Party, UDP, 1 minister from the People's Democratic Front, PDF, and 1 from the Hill State People's Democratic Party, HSPDP. A public lecture and interactive session with the Kuki INA war veteran was held yesterday at KIC Conference Hall in Tuibong, organized by the Kuki Student Organization Churachandpur. Director of Indian Council of Historical Research, Dr. Om G. Upadhyay, Professor of Osaka University of Commerce, Japan, Yoshihiro Kaburagi, Khetra Sangathan Mantri of Northeast States and Akhil Bharatiya Sampark Pramukh, Akhil Bharatiya Itihas Sankalan Yochna, Hemanta Ding Mazumdar, General Secretary of Bharatiya Itihas Sankalan Samiti, Assam Prant, Dr. Subhajit Chowdhury and retired MFS Robert Shailam Hauke presided over the session as the presidium members. Out of the more than 600 vulnerable Kuki freedom fighters, 8 freedom fighters who are still alive attended the session and said their memoirs. Hockey Manipur has formed a subcommittee for the smooth conduct of the upcoming 12th Hockey India Sub-Junior Women National Championship 2022 to be hosted by Manipur Hockey. The decision was made during an executive board meeting of Manipur Hockey held on January 23. According to a notice issued by the organizing secretary of Hockey Manipur, L. Bashanta Sharma, the subcommittees were ceremonial and reception, finance, accommodation and transport, medical, technical, publicity and souvenir catering, security and advisory board. A meeting was also held to discuss the expansion of the committees. Economic and Development Minister of Embassy of Japan, Shingo Miyamoto, today inspected the building Analon Christian Institute built under the Grant Assistant for Grassroots Projects GGP, Japan government. A felicitation program of the minister was also held. Project coordinator of GGP, Babita, along with the teachers and students of the institute, attended the program. Speaking on the occasion, Shingo Miyamoto expressed happiness in the progress for the project. The place reminds them of the small Japan and the next generations of Japanese consider this place a treasure. He sought people's cooperation for the success of such projects in the future. Culture programs by the students of the institute were the highlights of the program. Minister Shingo Miyamoto gifted a Japanese game, Kindamo, to the children of the institute. Justice M.B. Muralidharan at Court Number 3 of Manipur High Court heard the motion hearing for election petition filed by former MLA of Ketrigao Assembly Constituency Nahakpam Indrajit against MLA of the AC Sheikh Nurul Hassan. The High Court issued a notice to respondent number 1 MLA Nurul Hassan and 3 other candidates of the AC. The judge issued a notice order for the election petition in the court by Justice M.B. Muralidharan. According to the order, the court ordered the respondents to reply within May 23. The petition filed by former MLA and Indrajit claimed that the nomination paper filed by Sheikh Nurul Hassan is flawed. A 3-day training program on manufacturing on paper products kicked off yesterday at High Rock Higher Secondary School. The training program was jointly organized by Ingelai Paper and Print Private Limited and Ningol Club High Rock. Speaking on the launching program, principal of the school, Tokchom Nimai, expressed pleasure for organizing such program by Ningol Club. This program will help to boost the economy of the state and provide employment to the youths by guiding them in the right path. The initiative by Ingelai Paper and Print Private Limited will save many youths. Rather than waiting for a white-collar job, one must cultivate work culture, Nimai said.
Bakery item khara yu laga masi maduna fit to ga magi lai tambugi pesa puji aduga mu mafam simakta da adum yawi ba angang nupi masa ma ti class 11 do amne du tagi oi ba nursery tagi oi ba angang khara mara lai tambiri aduga madu loi ma ga magi si mu school sim kara ga school tagi ma hai tamne.
Several states in India are reeling from frequent power outages due to the shortage of coal in thermal power stations. The key states facing the issue of power outages are Delhi, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. India, however, has cancelled some passenger trains to allow for faster movement of coal carriages as the nation scrambles to replenish depleting inventories at power plants in a bid to avoid a full-blown power crisis. A scorching summer is driving demand for coal, which helps generate about 70% of the country's electricity. Several parts of India are facing long hours of blackouts, while some industries are cutting output due to the fossil fuel shortage, threatening the economy's revival from the pandemic-induced slump. The risk of a further spike in inflation is rising at a time when the government is struggling to rein in high energy prices fueled by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The measure is temporary and passenger services will be restored as soon as the situation normalizes, said Gaurav Krishna Bansal, an executive director at Indian Railways, one of Asia's largest networks. India logged 3,377 new COVID-19 infections with 60 deaths in the last 24 hours. This took the country's total tally of cases to 4.30 crore, while the active cases rose to 17,801, according to the data updated by Union Health Ministry today. The number of deaths, however, climbed to 5.23 lakh with the fresh fatalities. The active cases comprise 0.04% of the total infections, while the national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 98.74%. An increase of 821 cases has been recorded in the active COVID-19 caseload in a span of 24 hours. The daily positivity rate also recorded as 0.71% and the weekly positivity rate at 0.63%. Meanwhile, the number of people who have recuperated from the disease surged to 4.25 crore. On the other hand, the cumulative doses administered in the country under the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive has exceeded 188.65 crore. Before we end the bulletin, let's look at the top news headlines once again. Insurgency in Northeast states reduced by 80% in last 8 years, says Ministry of Home Affairs. Only individuals raised objections to Meghalaya-Assam border pact, says Chief Minister Sangma. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day ahead.